Greetings, y'all. Welcome back to the garden, or should I say homestead. Today we're out at my little 1 acre homestead site, or at least that's the idea. It's mostly just kind of grown over jungle right now, and I got a lot of storm damage I need to clean up from some hurricanes that came through a couple months ago. So let's go take a little quick tour. I'll show you what I got in mind for today, and hopefully we can get some good work done and get some of these logs chopped up. So come with me and we'll take a little tour and I'll show you what we got going on. Let's go. So here's sort of the left-hand side of the property. It's just a perfect rectangular little acre. And then you come by here, come right down the middle where this driveway is, right? And then there's an equal portion here on the right-hand side. And it goes over down to about where the end of those oak trees are, right about there. And then it's just a perfect straight rectangle, kind of like a football field, going into the back there. So we can see the morning light coming in here right through the driveway as we make our way down. We'll go take a little survey of the storm damage. I was out once before and was able to kind of mark some of the worst trees with some orange paint. So I know which ones I kind of need to cut down, first and foremost while I'm here today. But we'll take another tour, and as you can see, perhaps, there's lots of trees that are kind of snapped up. Most of them are already on the ground or very near it. Those are the ones I'm going to focus on today. These big ones that are snapped up in the sky like that, that's a little, quite literally above my pay grade. That's a little scary. But there are lots of logs that are already on the ground that I either dropped the last time I was here, or I can, very easily get on the ground and process with the tools I have available. So this is sort of the middle of the property here right now. You can see there's the driveway. There's a little segment over here that's just kind of jungly, but no major trees came down, which is nice. Here's a little section that I've been slowly clearing over the past year or so, and while there is a lot of new green growth, believe it or not, it was 10 times worse than that, and that will be pretty easy to brush hog and clean up in the grand scheme of things. And these two little chunks are about equal size. They're each about 1/4 acre each, and as you can see over here, here's lots of those downed longleaf pines, which is a shame. They're amazing trees, but as you can see, they're snapped up all over the place here. There's a bunch more down on the ground, all sorts of other trees. So we come over this way. Here's my office/junk pile. You can see where I've made a bit of a path already and come through and tried to get a rough idea of where things need to be. This would ideally be like a cul-de-sac, sort of a circular driveway for the car, so I could come in that straight driveway, do a loop, and then come right back out again. And this would be more or less the path it would go through, but as you can see, this big old tree is in the way here, so we're going to have to chop it up, get it processed, at least enough to just kind of get it out of the way. I have a tow strap that I can attach to the car and, kind of skull drag things as well. And as we come through here, again, more down trees. The car will probably end up driving actually through here. I'll take this path a little bit more directly. There we go. So yeah, this will be more or less the path that the cars would drive. You can see I really need to get the bush hog out here. The jungle's already coming back. It's chest high. This gives you an idea of just how big these trees are. It's tremendous, the power. And some of them broke off up top even. So we'll continue coming around here with the car. As you can see, another big log. Idea is to kind of start at that end and just process it down. And eventually, hopefully, we can get through this log. Here's another one. It's already on the ground. That shouldn't be too bad. And eventually we'll come right back to where we started here. And there's another little patch in the very back of the property I'll go walk to later. But that's the idea. You can see where the property ends, where it gets very clear back there. There's a road, a fire break back there. And the back corner is sort of over there. So that's the idea. Process what's already on the ground. Leave these big scary ones for a pro. And then try to find a bush hog next time around to get all this jungly stuff that's coming in. So that's where we are right now. I'm gonna go to the car, get the tools, get everything set up, and then we'll just kind of start processing these logs that are on the ground and then use them as boundary markers throughout the property, right? I can use them to kind of line the driveway, perhaps line some flower beds, things like that. So it's just going to be a lot of chopping, A lot of moving, nothing too glamorous, but it needs to get done. And that'll, once the logs are gone, like this stuff on the ground here, then I can get in here and kind of clear out the jungly bits. Because as you can see, it's it's already middle of April, and all the jungle's already back in full effect. So let me go get my tools, we'll get suited up, get the chainsaw and everything, and then yeah, we'll get busy. Alright y'all, and here's that little back portion I was talking about. I'm sort of standing at the back corner right now, the back left corner. And as you can see, it kind of extends over this way, the adjoining property. See, it has a little bit of a fire break, a little bit of a road here, so that's a good natural boundary. And it just kind of goes over this way to the opposite back corner. Again, there's some logs that have been down for a while that I just kind of need to move out of the way. And you can see all this jungle and wild grapevine and all that kind of stuff that's grown back. And the second back corner is over here, kind of where this crooked tree is, where this tree that got blown down is. Getting more limbs on the ground. I got my big boots on, keep out the snakes and stuff. And there's the back corner of the property right there. It's a bit of a thicket to get through right now. But that tree is going to have to come down. This whole back stretch needs to kind of get bush hogged. And then as we come back around again, you can see there's those trees that snap. There's those really big ones, super big ones over there. So we're sort of at the back side of the cul-de-sac over here right now. And the car and the driveway is out that way. So we're going to try our best to get the logs that are already down processed and in a better place. And then with any luck, we'll even be able to drop some of these smaller trees and perhaps even do a little bit of pruning on some of this overgrown privet and stuff. But you know, I'm just going to kind of pace myself here. I'm alone. I don't want to get hurt. So just take your time, you know. Everything takes a little longer, costs a little more than you think it's going to, but that's fine. That's all part of the adventure. So just take your time, have fun. I got a new chainsaw to play with today, so that'll be nice. And we'll just go nice and easy and try to process these trees as best we can. So let me go grab my gear and then we'll get started. Sweet. Alrighty y'all, we're gonna tackle the first tree over here. You can see it's kind of got about a 4-foot high stump, and then it goes down to the ground where it's supported. So there is a slight bow in it, even though you can't really see it on screen. So that means the compression is on the top side and the tension is on the bottom. So you always want to cut into the compression first, relieve that, and then trim it up from the tension. And so what I'm going to do is actually start at this end and just kind of chop it like a carrot. That way I don't make one big cut here and have it fall on my foot or something. And I'm also going to make sure that I have a few logs underneath this so that when it does fall to the ground, it won't hit the dirt. And that will make it that much easier to go back and buck into manageable bits when it's done. And if you need to roll it around, things like that. So we got the chainsaw warming up over here. I'm warming up over here. It's already hot. I'm sweating like no other, even though it's only springtime. So first we'll get this tree done. I've already got a few logs moved from this side, so this quadrant will be done. This major tree will be out of this quadrant, and then we can kind of go focus on the back where really most of the damage is. But we'll start with a small victory, get warmed up with the chainsaw, and then go tackle the big stuff. Let's go. right, success. A small victory, but we'll take it. Alrighty, y'all, here's sort of the first big log you can see that's on the ground here. I'm going to start at the top, what would be the top of the tree, and work my way towards the base, just sort of cutting it into, bite-sized pieces as I go, probably not more than, 6 or 8 feet at the most. And I'm going to take special care not to cut through the log and down into the dirt. That will really dull up your chainsaw blade real fast. So most of this is actually off the ground. It's kind of hard to see, but anywhere it's not, after I relieve some weight, I'm going to stick other logs underneath it, right? So when it does fall, it won't fall onto the ground. And the other trick is to cut through the log about 90%, leave a tab, do that to all your cuts, and then roll the log over, and then you can just go back and cut the tabs. That way you don't risk ever getting in the dirt. So I'm gonna go start at this far end here and work my way back. Woo, I'm huffing and puffing, y'all, but we got it. The little chainsaw worked like a beast. I was able to cut it up into chunks, as you can see. All of the chunks are resting up off the ground on other logs, and I was even able to cut through that big old busted up stump. So if you ever wondered how powerful a hurricane is, that's it. It looks like someone put a stick of dynamite in that trunk and blew it up. But this pine, this longleaf pine especially, makes the most amazing starter fat wood you've ever seen. So I've got infinite fat wood now forever. So now I got all the big trees chopped up into chunks. Now I'm going to go get these little scragglier ones, put them into chunks, and then I'll try to put the chunks into piles. Awesome. I can't believe how well that chainsaw worked. So if you just take your time and you're patient, methodical about it, you can get it done. Just be safe, go slow, and realize the woods ain't going anywhere. They'll be there the next time you come. So I'll go get these little trees, put them into piles, and we'll check in a minute. Cool. Alrighty, y'all, we're getting towards the end of the day, and the goal now is to try to get this little cul-de-sac driveway, if I can. I'd like to get at least one full lap for the day. Sorry about the saw. I want to come through these 2 trees, come through here. You can see where I got this log down. Probably have to drive in between this stump and this tree here. And then we'll go straight. I have to cut this down. We'll stay just to this side of this tree over here. Whoops. And then come around through here. Come in between these 2 spots. Have to cut this little privet thing down. And then back out through here. So these logs are cut, I just got to kind of move them, and then get the car to go through here. So I don't know if I can get all that done just now, but we're going to try. That's the goal, is to get one full lap on our little cul-de-sac going here, and then we'll be right back to where we started. Alrighty, y'all, it's the moment of truth. I just got done doing all the trees and tidying up, and let's see if we can make one lap on our little cul-de-sac here. If I can get the truck around one full lap, that'll be a major achievement. I haven't been able to get that much done in the over a year or so since I've had it. So it's still looking kind of rough, but I got all the trees and logs chopped up and moved out of the way. So hopefully we can go down our straight driveway, do our little cul-de-sac, and come back. So let's give it a shot. All right, here goes nothing. There's still lots of little stumps and things in the ground, but I think this will work. Coming in straight. There's one of those little stumps I was talking about. And it's a tight fit for sure, but once I can get like a bush hog or something like that through here, it'll really help clear it up. The one victim here is this palmetto bush. I have to kind of run over it a little bit, but it'll come back. They're tough. And there's a sneaky big old stump right here I got to watch out for. Whoa, right there. Sounds worse than it is. But we made it, y'all. One full lap around the cul-de-sac. Nice. And now, back out to the driveway. Sweet. Alrighty, y'all, and through the power of YouTube, we're here back in town, back at the regular garden. You can see green behind me. Thank you for joining me in this episode. I know I wasn't terribly excited, but it was very gratifying and something I really needed to get done. So at least now I have good access on the property and I can get machines and everything in there. And the worst is over. Hopefully I won't get another tornado or hurricane for a while, and I can just go out there and kind of start adding stuff and kind of filling it out with cool plants. I got to build a little structure of some sort, shed, that kind of thing. Lots more fun projects to come. So thank you for joining me in this one, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers and chews.